Good morning, students. Good morning to all. Today, my dear students, you are going to learn about the career opportunities in real estate industry. The real estate market in India is one of the most promising sector for starting a business today. From a price of $120 billion in 2017, it is expected to grow to $1 trillion by 2020. Yes, this sector is flourishing at a jet speed. For that, here to brief about this industry, today we are having eminent resource person, Mr. M. Senthilkumar, Proprietor, Shiv Constructions, Commercial, Industrial Leasing and Real Estate Consultant, Coimbatore. On behalf of AJK College of Arts and Science, my hearty welcome you, sir. And I extend my welcome to my dear faculty and my beloved students for this session. Thank you. Now I request our resource person, Mr. Senthilkumar, to share his experience. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, madam, and thanks to everyone. So first of all, I convey my thanks to AJK College of Arts and Science Management to give me a wonderful opportunity to discuss about this particular topic, and so hope everyone will enjoy this session. And also thanks for the introduction to Uma Maheshwari madam. So we will discuss one by one in this sector. So we'll do one thing. I will just share my presentation right now. One minute. Hope is it visible to everyone? Hello, madam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I proceed?
Yes, sir. Screen. Sir, screen ரெண்டுல போடுங்க சார். ஸ்லைட வந்து ரெண்டுல போடுங்க சார். Full view வரல.
Okay, okay. Is it okay now, madam?
Sir, F5 press பண்ணுங்க சார். Full view வந்துரும் slide. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. You can continue, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So once again, good morning to all. And we are
your voice is breaking, sir.
This opportunities in real estate industry. So I will. Yeah, 1 minute, madam. Hello. Now is it audible, madam?
Yes, sir. Now it's clear, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in case any disturbance and if audio is not clear, please inform me so that I can adjust accordingly. Okay. Okay, fine. So before going to the opportunities in real estate sector, so I would like to highlight some of the major points in real estate. See, so basically, there are a lot of industries are there, and in terms of real estate, actually, this is the second largest employer in terms of opportunities after agriculture in our country. See, when you're talking about real estate, and each and every product, each and every sector, there is a measured, that is economic measurement, that's called a term GDP. It is a gross domestic product. Each and every country's economic growth is basically measured by this GDP. Okay, so this will be measured on each and every year basis. Basically quarterly basis they will calculate, and overall it will be calculated based on the every year. Okay, so the current scenario of this particular real estate industry's GDP is around 6.5 to 7% now. So this is what the current scenario. In fact, which is expected to grow around almost 13% in the next around 2 decades, maybe in another 10 to 20 years time. Fine. So you know that actually we are given the current market from the scenario to 2040. If you look at it, this industry will grow up to mostly 65,000 crore in terms of 9.3 US billion dollar. Okay, so you all know that billion means it's an you can take it as a correlation point of view, and million, you know very well, it's a 10 lakhs in Indian rupee. And again, trillion means it's actually 1 lakh 1 lakh crore actually in terms of Indian value. Okay, so in this particular industry, see, we are not going to talk about on real estate mainly today, because we are going to spend time on only for opportunities in real estate sector. So that's why actually we are only going to discuss only some major points on real estate. See, if you take it real estate particularly, so there are mainly four subsectors are there. Basically, housing and retail and hospitality and commercial. If you look at it, mainly the commercial, mainly housing and commercial will have more opportunities in that of other indirect opportunities also there in this industry. But if you look at it in housing and the commercial, you will have more on direct opportunities, which we are going to discuss in the next slides. Okay. So when you again compared with other industries like manufacturing, one of the major sector in so as I already explained to you, these four sectors are subsectors are in this real estate industry, that namely as housing, retail, hospitality and commercial. Okay, so hope you all know the basic product of residential. It's basically land and apartment and individual house, and you know that there is a gated community project in next slides also. See, why I'm saying this product, you will have more opportunities to sell this kind of a product in the real estate sector. Okay, fine. See, if you take opportunities in housing sector, okay, mainly you will have more opportunities in terms of builders. So hope you know that actually there are a lot of corporate builders in our country. Like I can say some corporate builders like Shobha Developers, for an example, DLF and Godrej, and there are major builders. It's actually these builders are actually called as a corporate builders. Those people will have a presence in every city state wise. For example, if it is of Kerala means, there is a Malabar builders is actually they are basically a state-based builder. Okay, and hope is it audible? Is it okay, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it clear actually? Okay, I'll just check it out in the frequently in during the presentation time, so that you need to help me out, madam. Okay, fine. So these are the builders like Malabar, like I'm saying in city wise, like Coimbatore, there are the builders called Srivari builders. Okay, so what I mean to say, why I'm saying this builders, like we have a major opportunities in terms of sales and marketing and CRM, and you have an admin opportunities. A lot of opportunities are there. So basically, salespeople, you know very well, there are a lot of huge opportunities are there in our country. You know, in fact, there is a huge demand for sales. That is for every industry, particularly in the real estate sector. There are a lot of talented people is required to sell the residential and the commercial and other project. Okay, so likewise, same are required to this industry to develop this industry like activities. Fine, and CRM, it's a customer relationship management. In any industry like real estate, there is a after sales is very important. Suppose, for example, if a person is selling a project, a residential project, okay, there are a lot of things to be done. There are a lot of follow-ups to be done after the sales. So that is basically we call it as a customer relationship management. This CRM is also has a huge opportunities there in all the builders.
The voice is not audible, sir. Completely breaking.
Whatever the sales, marketing, CRM, and admin, these all opportunities are there in every builders. So
Sir, voice is breaking, not audible.
Is it okay now? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Clear, sir.
Fine. Sorry for the disturbance. So, see, as we discussed, like you have the more opportunities from to grow from junior level to top level management. You can after completing your management course, you can very well join as an executive level, and based on your talent and exposure, definitely you have an opportunity to grow up to top level management, even up to that like a CEO or whatever the higher positions. And one more thing, in this particular sector, the companies like all real estate companies are offering with a huge salaries actually. So it's one of the best industry. That's what I mean to say. Okay, and apart from this, builders. So you have an opportunity to work with the bank. There are different housing loan division is there. You all know that all major banks like nationalized bank like SBI and private banks HDFC and ICCI, and each and every all the banks nowadays have a separate division for a housing loan division. So there are again huge opportunities are there in this particular housing loan division also. And apart from all those things, there is another opportunity, like you can also work as a consultant, independent consultant like us. Actually, we are an independent consultant. Like see, consultant means, I will tell you, earlier days for selling the residential segment, whether it is an apartment, villa, many people used to sell these kind of a residential real estate product in different industry. But after certain time, like around some 2 to 3 years before, the government has come up with the regulation saying that if any specified and project want to sell, it has to be the project to be sold to the only certified agent. For example, that is called as a RERA. Now, RERA means actually the Real Estate Regulation Authority. It is governed by the central government of India. Now, whoever is having the license for this RERA only, now they can able to sell this apartment or villa. I am talking about the independent consultant. Whereas in a direct company, it is not necessary. Okay, fine. That retail, you have got options like malls and Hello, hello. Is it okay? Is it audible? I think I need
Yes,
to check it out
sir.
by
Little
connecting
break.
regularly.
Little.
Okay, okay. Fine. In case any disturbance, please let me know, madam. Okay. So, in terms of retail, see, there are malls. You have, currently due to this the COVID situation, all the malls are closed now. But you have good opportunities in mall. Like, I can say an example in Cochin, Lulu, and Phoenix Mall in Chennai and other cities, Brookfields in Coimbatore, Brozone. See, why I'm talking all those things, you have an opportunities in these sectors also in retail, under retail. Like each and every mall, there will be a marketing manager and there will be a mall manager. They called as a mall manager. Those people only have to deal with all the various advertisement from different brands. If suppose some brand, suppose for example, if you take it in a watch, suppose Titan brand wants to have a space in this mall, these people have to discuss with this marketing manager from the mall. Okay. So apart from, again, there are a lot of other opportunities also there in terms of different brands. Like again, you have different brands in a showroom. Fine. For example, now the Reliance Trends. Hope you have seen in your cities. A lot of Reliance have come up with different setup like trends in terms of the smart means actually with all groceries and all the items you will get it. And in local brand, if you talk about, it's actually Palamudur is a familiar brand in Coimbatore and other cities in Tamil Nadu and various other brands. So you have an opportunity to work as a showroom manager or a sales manager. So these are the opportunities are there, and these are the only major opportunities which I'm talking. Apart from that, there are other lot of other indirect opportunities also there. Okay, fine. And if you take it in a hospitality sector, hospitality mean no, that lodging and entertainment industry, like now higher studies or for working purpose to other states or other city. Now earlier there were there was a problem for the good hotel or lodging and for staying purpose. Nowadays, so a lot of PGs are there, no, like this paying guest. So a lot of major brands have come up with the PG sector, like Oyo and Zolo stays. These people are expanding like anything. They are expanding in all the cities. Uh, since demand is increasing day by day for all studying students and for working, have an opportunity to work with these brands like Oyo. Oyo means I'm talking about the PGs there, Oyo hotels, lodgings there, and you have various opportunities to work with these kind of brands also. And recreation means actually there are that amusing parks, theme parks. So these parks also you'll have definitely some opportunities for a manager or marketing manager. Again there are a lot of opportunities are there. Fine. And in terms of entertainment, if you take it, you know that again there are theaters, multiplex options are there. So you have again different opportunities are there, and to work with this kind of entertainment industry also. And in terms of tourism, if you take, you can work as a host for a guest, such as historical site and tour of a city. So these are all comes under hospitality sector. Fine. Is it audible, madam? Am I okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. And the second is the commercial. Okay, the commercial real estate is one of the major sector after housing this thing for like the office space or for we called as actually it's like almost like how we discuss about the OYO and all, like for a staying purpose for sharing option. Now the shared office concept also there in all the major cities. You have a lot of brands are now operating in Coimbatore. Also there is a brand called innovative some brands also there, and likewise all the cities now their shared office concept is also there. So a lot of the people, they are looking for a space for office space for both options, like for purchasing and as well as the leasing options. For if they want to leasing means actually basically it's a rental. they want to take it this office building as a rental options. Okay, so for example, corporate office or for smaller office, anything shared office for a monthly rental basis. Okay, so what is the opportunities where we have in commercial? If you take it commercial, so there are people called as IPCs, basically international property consultants. Okay, I can tell you, even if you Google it, you will come to know that international property consultants, like CBRE and Cushman and Wakefield and Colliers International, I can say Knight Frank and Savills and Anorak. And there are many more brands are there. These are the top brands which I'm talking. So you have a good, good opportunities to work with these kind of employers also, because every year and there are a lot of these the particular the IPCs are also taking people from talented people. Okay, so you have a huge opportunities. And what is the major role of these IPCs? I can tell you, like they're actually not only dealing with the commercial properties, they are also consultants for commercial and as well as residential properties. And their nature of job is to do the market survey, market study, and analyze with various reports. And no, now you are all you are getting this report through Google or through various sources. No, these all reports have been developed by these companies only, either CBRE or Cushman Wakefield, whatever other companies. Okay, so here also you have a better opportunities to work with these kind of companies. Fine. Okay, and commercial, there is an one more big opportunity. You can say it as a commercial or industrial. Like nowadays, actually, the warehousing sector is the one of the topmost sector in real estate nowadays, particularly after COVID. What happened earlier? That storage, the warehousing, no, warehousing is the purpose of storing the material in a particular place with a safety locality to distribute the product into different places. It's basically distribution for the. It will be used for the distribution management, right? See, particularly after COVID, the warehousing sector is demand is increasing like anything. Like earlier days, the warehousing warehouse the concept used to be there in only the major city, major metros like A cities, A plus plus, like that. Now all smaller towns, now the warehousing requirement is there to keep the material and to distribute in a different location. Likewise, nowadays, even after Mumbai and Bangalore, now the Coimbatore is the one of the major sector for warehousing industry. Now the lot of warehousing is come off, new warehouses, and there is no place for warehouse space actually, like that. And there is a place called cold storage also is there. It is again, it is comes under warehousing, like any food product or maybe for the major this kind of food items will be stored in the cold storage with the cooling system, and a lot of refrigeration system will be there actually. Okay, so what is the opportunity we are going to get in this warehousing means? See, warehousing in the sense it is basically operating by the logistics company. You would have heard that logistics and e-commerce and transportation. Okay, so logistics means I can tell you for some example, TVS Logistics and Indospace and India warehousing, and there are some individual warehouse players also there in our country. So wherever you want, if you want to get opportunity in Coimbatore or Cochin or Chennai, Bangalore, so all the places you have this. For example, this corporate warehouse logistics people, they have a warehouse in all the cities in India. So they have a requirement in all the cities. Fine. Likewise, and if you see that indirect opportunities in e-commerce, you know very well, like Amazon, Flipkart, and Snapdeal. Likewise, you have got a lot of other companies also there. So you can also utilize these kind of companies. Fine. And in logistics, there are one more sector is called as a transportation under warehousing. Basically, they called as a 3PL. 3PL means actually it's a third party logistics companies. I will tell you an example. Suppose if Samsung, you heard the brand Samsung for TV or fridge or whatever it is, they want to transport, they want to store the material in some location in Coimbatore, say example. that Samsung will not directly, to deal with all dealers directly or to deal with the end users directly. Okay, for this kind of warehousing, this logistics companies will play the major role actually. That's why they called as a third party logistics companies. There are a lot of huge third party logistics companies are there. So they will act as a middleman between the brand as well as the storage, like warehouse people, for the product from the manufacturing factory to store the warehouse in particular location, in each and every location in the country. And from the warehouse only, wherever the dealer point and for distributor point, this particular product will ship from the warehousing to the consumer, the localities. Okay. So I mean to say, like, you have an opportunity to work with these kind of third party logistics companies also. Like I can tell you some companies like Nippon Express. They are basically Chennai-based company. In Gindi, they have got their corporate office. Likewise, there are a lot of brands are there. So that's brands like as a Samsung, Sony, and food products and groceries. Likewise, fine, fine. And apart from all these opportunities, whatever we discuss, there are again huge potential opportunities in the real estate online portals. So hope you all heard the words like 99 acres and magic bricks and common floor. So basically these brands are all as a real estate. It's mainly there to promote residential and commercial properties, basically real estate product, to deal with the real estate product. If you go to that 19 acres, say example, if you want to purchase or sell some property in any part of your city, if you can go and check it out any one of these portal, you have an easy option to complete your transaction. So why we are discussing all those things again? So again, you have a potential to work with these kind of companies. Like there are a lot of sales opportunities are there in 19 acres, marketing opportunities. A lot of opportunities are there in all these magic bricks and common floor and housing.com, whatever it is. You can just check it out in Google. So these are the some opportunities. Okay. And apart from, so whatever we discuss right now, it's all for a direct opportunities with the companies. Okay. So there are other opportunities, as I already told you. You can also work as an independent consultant in this real estate industry. Like we are actually independent consultant. Like we can do all type of real estate deals individually. Fine. So what are the options are there? Like you can work as a consultant for digital marketing. Okay. So digital marketing is a major tool nowadays. So hope you all know, we are also meeting you all people through this digital option only, due to the current scenario. Fine. Due to this current circumstances, for the past 6 to 7 months, there are a lot of digital media have been improved a lot in the various sectors, not only in real estate, but in real estate industry it is a very huge. Fine. So what are the opportunities are there? You can work as a consultant for a digital marketing individual consultant. Like you can work for any real estate company. Like you can say that, sir, I can do the kind of all type of marketing activities or advertisement purpose. We can do that, and you can charge some money for that and some digital marketing. See, naturally, each and every company, they will have a separate division called marketing. Those people will do all these kind of activities, but still there are a lot of companies, small companies, or even some major corporate companies. They used to give these opportunities to the outsourced person, basically as a consultant outsider. Fine. So again, I will come back to this thing. Like you can work as a consultant for digital marketing and like Facebook, Instagram campaigns, and you can initiate some kind of what LinkedIn, and again there are a lot of other opportunities called bulk SMS, bulk mailers. Basically, we call it as a email marketing. We call it as email marketing. Fine. And apart from, you can also act as an event management company for promoting the real estate various product. Okay, like we call it as a ATL and BTL activities. ATL, the above the line, and BTL means it's below the line. Below the line, actually, it's called as a event management, and you do lot of different activities in real estate. Like you do flyer activity, and you do like a pamphlet, like, there are a lot of various opportunities are there. For this, some company event management or some consultant is required to do this activity. So this is also one of the major opportunity in real estate sector. Fine. Okay. So people may ask only
Voice breaking, sir.
we have we have private opportunities. Don't we have any opportunities in government sector? Yes, of course. So you do have a in government. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Hello, am I audible? Is it clear, madam? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Audible, sir.
Okay. Okay. Hope I'm not going very fast. I believe if you feel that fast, you can tell me. So, since actually the given period, no, 45 minutes to 1 hour, I thought to complete this thing regarding the opportunities. Okay, fine. So, in government, if you take in government opportunities, there are various opportunities in highways, and in if you take it as an register office, like we call it as a DTCP. DTCP means like Directorate of Town and Country Planning. Basically, this is a government, Tamil Nadu government body which controls all the activities in the for registration and for approval, and lot of activities controlled by Tamil Nadu government. Likewise, CMDA. CMDA means it's a Chennai Metropolitan Development Authority. It's only controls within this Chennai city. So these kind of opportunities are there in government sector. Apart from, you can also get an opportunity in highways and all. But for that, you need to write an exam like Group 1, Group 2, and there are other opportunity exams are there. You need to complete these things to get these kind of opportunities. So that's all from my side, actually. So any clarification you can now ask. I think you completed before that stipulated time, I believe, actually, right? So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah. See, actually,
Yes,
this
sir.
this sector is a huge one, and we want to only highlight only the type of opportunities today. And if you want to discuss about this industry, it's an ocean actually. So we have to speak a lot of things. So I just want to highlight only the opportunities in this sector. And if you want to, maybe I can share my experience also in this industry. So how I grew from this industry, this real estate, this thing. Probably this may help you, or this may be useful for your students. So, so if you want, I can share some 10 minutes of my experience in this industry. So, can I go ahead, madam? Can I go ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 See, I actually started this opportunity, just 3-4 years before. Earlier that I worked with builders like Shobha Developers and Purvankara. Basically, they are corporate builders. So I was heading sales and marketing for to promote the housing projects in this company. So after that, I started my own property consulting, and basically it's actually for promoting the residential and the commercial project. So based on the exposure what I learned from the company, with different companies, so I have started my own company. So likewise, you can also, maybe instead of starting your own activity, own business in real estate, maybe you can work for some companies for some time. basically for some 1 or 2 years, or whatever time, stipulate time you want. You can work with the company, and then you can start working with this independent as an independent consultant. So then I started promoting all the various builders and dealing with a lot of commercial projects as a consultant. And so it's now almost it's a 4 years now I started my firm. So I feel very comfortable. Yeah, of course, actually there are obstacles, and there are a lot of challenges will be there in each and every industry. Likewise, we also face some kind of challenges in the past 6 months, and we believe developing again. We are started getting some business for the past 1 or 2 months time. So in case in future also, if you have any doubts, any clarification in this kind of industry, I can help you out to your AJK students. So that's what I can say. So
Okay.
that's it from my side.
Okay, sir.
If you have any, okay.
Okay, sir. So really, thank you so much. You are spending your precious time to our students. So our students today understand the various sectors in real estate and digital marketing in real estate industries. Lot of things. It's a very new platform for them to understand a lot of things about in real estate, various job opportunities in real estate industry. So really, thank you so much, sir. On behalf of AJK College of Arts and Science, we would like to thank you, sir. And I extend my thanks to my dear students and faculty members. Thank you one and all. Thank you, sir.
Okay, madam. Thanks a lot, and thanks again for all the students and the AJK management for giving me a wonderful opportunity to interact with all your students. Thanks a lot, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Ma'am, good afternoon, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How about you? Hello.
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Let me start, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How about the students?
கேக்குதுங்களா? ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாமா?
எனக்கு கேக்குதுங்க உமா. ஹலோ.
ஓகே மேம். ஓகே. எஸ் மேம்.
எனக்கு கேக்குது. நான் பேசுறது கேக்குதா உங்களுக்கு? நீங்க மியூட் போயிட்டீங்க உமா.
Oh, now ma'am. Now can you hear me?
Now it's audible. How about you?
Okay, ma'am.
Done.
Okay, ma'am. Let me start the session.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon to all. My dear students, today you are going to learn the power of perception in communication to gather closer to each other. The communication is an important management function. Closely associated with all other managerial functions. It bridges the gap between and understanding between them. To brief this, today we are having a eminent resource person, Ms. Chellam Narendran, NLP practitioner, founder, Street and Counseling Service, Coimbatore. I welcome you, madam. I
Thank you so much.
extend my welcome to our faculty and my dear students, our resource person, Ms. Chellam. Hello, can you hear me? Voice is audible?
It's quite okay.
Quite okay. 1 minute now. Network issues. 1 minute. Ma'am, can you hear me? Is it clear?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So, my dear students, good afternoon to all. Today, you are going to learn the power of perception in communication. The communication brings people together, closer to each other. The communication is an important management function closely associated with all other managerial functions. It bridges the gap between individuals and groups through flow of information and understanding between them. To brief this, today we are having a eminent resource person, Ms. Chellam Narendran, NLP practitioner, founder, Street Counseling Service, Coimbatore. I welcome you, madam. I
Thank you
extend
so
my
much.
welcome to our faculty. I extend my welcome to our faculty and my dear beloved students. Now I request our resource person, Ms. Chellam Narendran, to address this virtual session. Thank you.
Thank you, Uma ma'am. Good afternoon to all the participants, the students, as well as with the faculty. Thank you so much, Uma ma'am, for this opportunity. And thank you, students, for being a part of this program. Okay. I hope you understand what is perception. Today we are going to talk about the perception in communications, and more importantly, I'm going to highlight.
On your video, ma'am.
You know, it has a network issues. One sec.
Yeah, now you're able to see now. Yes, nice. Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
fine.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. We are going to. Should be in a bilingual language, or can I go only in English?
Bilingual.
It has to be bilingual. Bilingual is okay. People can understand.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am.
We are talking about the topic today. The title is the perception in communication, and more importantly, I would like to address here more on the aspect of perceptions, because communication is such thing which we normally do it, and irrespective of that, people say I have a problem in communications. I'm not able to communicate well with students or with any of our people. So why this comes? Why we always say there is, irrespective of any age groups, except for the kids, everybody has a problem in communication. The kid never has a problem in communications. It conveys it very clearly. But the parent or the person who receives it will always have an issue in interpreting the kid's communication. Why? That is, the kids clearly say that, no, this is what I want, this is what I mean it. Okay, so why there is always an issue in communications, I'm going to highlight it through the aspect of perceptions. How perceptions play a major role in communication. That is what we are going to see to it. So before I start with the insights on perceptions, I would like to say a small outline on the current scenarios, how it affects our perceptions. This COVID, the most highly used word is COVID now. Even today, we are having a webinar because the personal visit or the personal contact is very less. So we are online. So the perception here is for the education, we commonly have that it has to be only learned through the schools or the colleges by going to the schools, but it has completely changed to the technical mode. We have the webinars, our seminars, everything's happening online. We have a communications, we are learning without having any contact, any personal contact with each other. That's one change of perceptions. And second, usually when we're talking about the mobile phones or the technological, we commonly say that when people talking about mobile, your crowd of people, it's always used for the social media. Either it could be a WhatsApp, Facebook, or Insta, any kind, YouTube's. Now the perception has changed. Even the mobile phones are used for learning. Okay. See, I would like to share a quote like, we don't see the world as the world is, we see the world as we are. Everybody knows about Stephen Covey. Okay, so you could see there is a picture which talk, for someone it's kind of a sun, for someone it's a goggle, right? For someone it's a lens. How we interpret it does make a difference, but the actual thing is something could be different. How do we see or how do we perceive the world? It actually makes a difference. Okay, that's where the perception comes. We don't see how is it, we see how I wanted to see it. நம்ம எப்படி இருக்குன்னு பார்க்க மாட்டோம். நான் என்ன பார்க்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறேனோ அதை தான் பார்ப்பேன், அதை தான் கேட்பேன். அதுதான் வந்து perception அப்படின்னு சொல்றது. Okay. I have a picture here. Okay, since we don't have I thought we would be having a kind of a chat interactions or something. So I took this picture. But since there is it's a one-way communications, I would like to share some few insights on that. What you could do is, if you have a paper and pen with you, you can just write down what is that you get it out of this picture. உங்க கையில பேப்பர் பென் இருந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா வந்து இந்த பிக்சர்ல வந்து என்ன டிரா பண்றீங்க, இன்டர்பிரட் பண்றீங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு you can make a note of it. I'll just give you 2 minutes of time. இந்த அட்மாஸ்பியர் பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா வந்து நமக்கு வந்து naturally வந்து will think it's a kind of an official settings. That's one thing very common for all of us. The setup of table, chair, and the people, the way the people standing there, it says it's an official structure. But the more interpretations if you want to give is, it could be a boss and subordinate relationship, or it could be a father and a son interactions, or it could be any kind of a retail outlet shop rooms, anything you can draw out of it. Or it could be a government office or something. So the interpretation is going to be different based on the experience. For setup before. So my perception on this thing says it's an official setup. If I didn't have this experience before, then I would simply say there is a room, there are tables and chairs, or people are there. If I didn't have, if you ask any kind of a person from village, they would say that, because if they haven't had any past experience on that. So the first thing which I would like to highlight here is that in perception, your past experience is a major role. இந்த மாதிரி முந்தி பார்த்துருந்தோம் அப்படின்னா அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் நம்மளோட இன்டர்பிரிட்டேஷன் வந்து ப்ரெசென்ட்ல இருக்கும். ப்ரெசென்ட்டோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பேஸ் பண்ணி பாஸ்ட் அண்ட் ப்ரெசென்ட் பேஸ் பண்ணி தான் நம்மளோட ஃபியூச்சர் ரெக்வர்சிவ்னஸ் போகும். ஸோ இது வந்து நான் ரொம்ப ஹைலைட்டா கொண்டுட்டு போறது வந்து இட்ஸ் பேஸ்ட் ஆன் யுவர் சைக்காலஜிக்கல் இன்சைட்ஸ். Okay, so now there is a small explanation of what is perceptions. The first point is the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through the senses. When I'm talking about a perception, it is all about your sensory organs. How do I interpret the message, or how do I take the message into my mind? It is through all these areas. These 5 sense organs would play a vital role in receiving the information. The second point here is the way in which something is regarded, understood, or interpreted. How I see it makes much difference. How I have a value for it, how I understood it, that is going to make a major role. It doesn't mean how you had it or what you think is not coming to play in the role of perception. It is all about me and my thinking, my interpretations, my experience, my understanding. It's all about me, how I perceive the things. It is all about how I see it. So that's the second point. The third is the set of unconscious process we undergo to make senses of the stimuli and sensations we encounter. The third point is most important because it talks about the unconscious aspect of doing the things. Okay, so when we talk about the mind, we normally talk about a conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. Okay, the conscious mind is what I talk to you, or all now we are here in the conscious mind because we know what is happening in and around us, what I think, what I'm doing. Subconscious mind is something a little taking you to the next level, wherein slightly aware of the things, but there is something inside the mind which naturally gets into processing of all the information. The final thing is the unconscious mind, that is what we call it about the instinct. So there are certain process we do it naturally. There is nothing required an additional information or additional support systems. That is of your instinct. So unconscious is something which is pre-programmed in your mind. When you see a dog near to you, we tend to either love the dog, or we tend to run away. It is based on the experience. If I had a good experience with dog, I used to say it is my pet. I love dogs. I sit with the dog and I give food and everything. So that's my unconscious way of reacting to it. If I had a bad experience, sometimes, in my childhood, if dog had, bitten me, or, it chased me, then I see, if I see the dog now, then I'll run away, or I'll show hatred toward the dog, or I'll say like, okay, I don't like dogs. So my unconscious mind is programmed in such a way that when I see, that is the stimuli. Dog is a stimuli. When I see a dog, my sensory organs or the pre-programmed organs tells about my response. What I give is either I love it or I hate it. So your perception is based on more than what we do here in the thinking process or in the direct process. It is all to do with your programming of your mind, pre-programming of your mind, or subconscious or unconscious thoughts, what we stored in about a particular situation or about your person. I hope it's clear. If at all you have a doubt, I'm not very sure whether we have a Q&A sessions. You can post it on the chat, we'll have it. Right, I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so again, it is all about the a kind of an image which I've given you. So people can draw your interpretations based on it. For some, it's an old woman and a man. And if you see deeper into their face, there are 2 people sitting inside. One is playing a guitar and the other one is having touching the cap and sitting. And if you see, there are a lot of interpretations. if you see a man, then again you could see there is a, the curve kind of a structure. There is a lady coming out. So there are more kind of interpretation you can make out of this structure. For the person who sees on the lighter note, it's just a man and a woman, a older man and a woman. To get deeper into it, they could see two men sitting on this, has a appearance. And if you get little deeper into it, there are a lot of insights you could get it, the center part could be some kind of a designs. It could keep on going. So your interpretation is based on the experience you had. One. Second thing is the kind of information you want to receive out of this picture. Okay, so it is about how you perceive this picture. For me, it's just a old woman. Yes, I'm done with it. I don't want to get deeper into it. That's my perception. I see it on the outer layer. If I want to get more information, then if my nature is something, I would dig deep much into any kind of an information or any kind of an work. So I get deeper into this picture, then I understand, oh, it is not what I see, there is something more to it. Okay. So this is what most important is a pyramid structure. How we frame a perception, right? The foundation is what we think. Thinking is very important. In psychology, we say that what we, normally many of the people who say what you think you become. The book Secret says that you think and you get it. So everybody says most important aspect of how your thought plays a major role in molding an individual. What you think you become. And there is a common saying that the whole universe aspires to give what you want. So it's all about thinking. You think, you get it. So the base for all this thing is the foundation is what we think. So how do we make our thinking? Thinking is a pattern. How do we design our thinking or programming our thinking is very important to see a difference in life. It's very important if you want to grow up in a life. Everything gets changed because the seed gets from the mind. Whatever you want to sow, just sow it in your mind. It grows as a tree. Then what we say, most of the communications and most of the things people say like, what I thought is something different and what I meant is something different, or what I say is something different. Because there is no clarity. My perception keeps changing. I don't get, when I see a person, my perception gets changed. When I see a situation, there is a different interpretation part. So what I think and what I say, it makes a difference, and what we do. The action part. Do is nothing but the action part. So how am I going to do it? So my think, my saying, my action is all this goes in line with each other. These three things are very important. Your thoughts, your behavior, and your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors has to be very simple. How we are perceived does make an influence. That is what influences. நம்ம ஒரு விஷயத்தை எப்படி பண்றோம், எப்படி நினைக்கிறோம் அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து அது எதனால இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் ஆகுது அப்படின்னா, நம்ம எந்த விதத்துல நம்ம திங்க் பண்றோம், எந்த விதத்துல பேசுறோம், எந்த விதத்துல செய்யறோம், இந்த மூணுமே வந்து நம்மளோட பெர்செப்ஷனை வந்து இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸ் பண்ணுது. ஸோ அது 3 key factors. இதுக்கு எல்லாமே ஃபவுண்டேஷன் வந்து யுவர் திங்கிங் ஆஸ்பெக்ட். ஸோ பி கேர்ஃபுல் வித் யுவர் திங்கிங். தி ப்ராசஸ், it's more important, because in the current scenarios, we all talk about the process, right? We commonly tend to say, don't worry about the results. Ensure that a process are in place. This applies to your education also. We see like, okay, I couldn't finish my things on time. I couldn't complete before the deadlines. I'm worried about my results before giving the exams. Why? Because I didn't do my process. It's very simple. The process is nothing but, I know by end of this year, I'll have my semester. If I work 3 months before, then I'm going to get a good result. Since I bypass the process of studying for the 3 months, I get tense on the 3 days before the exams. The process is more important. So once you do your process very clearly, the result, naturally you'll get the results. That is what IT sectors and your even colleges, everybody is talking about the documentation. Documentation is nothing but we ensure that the process are in place. When talking about the perception, we have three things: selection, organization, and interpretations. So normally people say like in a minute there are more than 500 or 1,000 words of crossing our mind. Which one are we choosing it? That's the selections. So selection is nothing but the words which you pick to think, or the words you choose to act on it, or the words we choose to say. That's the selection process. Organizations, we have multiple things. If you talk about this scenario of this webinar, there are a lot of things, right? Even before we get connected, there is a lot of issues. Like, network, if we are checking about the network, ma'am was moving from one place to the others and everything. So the organization is very important. So she ensures that there is someone as a backend, there is a technical team which helps in setting up the process, so that when there is any technical hitch-up comes, directly I'm approaching the technical teams. I know it. And second, when it comes to any kind of speaker-related issues, she has to convey it to me. And when it comes to the students, I have to talk it to them. So the process, the organization is very clear. It's a step-by-step, the planning, that is what we do in management. All the things have to be in place. Before I talk also, shall I talk this? Or what I perceive is right? Is this situation gives me? Or am I drawing it from a past experience, or am I drawing it from the experience of others? So the organizing of thoughts and how we is very important. There are 10 things which will happen in a day. What I'm going to prioritize, how I'm going to organize related to a particular situation, that matters. The final is the interpretation part. This plays a very major role. We always take interpretations for granted. Both the communicators, always the communicators take interpretations for granted, as well as with the receiver part. Because what I wanted to say, I told it. How the other person receive it, it's not my problem. It's their problem. That is where the communication comes. I thought this, I told it, but I failed to ensure that what I meant and what I delivered is one and the same. What the other person understood, it's the same. Are both of us in the same line? Is my message is communicated properly, or whether the person has received or interpreted the way I wanted to do it? That's most important in the interpretation. But so most of the communications, the problem comes in the interpretation areas, because people tend to interpret, and maybe you can, just give in a flash of seconds, you will connect with your lifetime incidents. There are so many things wherein the communication has went wrongly. People say, no, you said this, but I thought this. I interpreted your message in this way. We all normally have it in a day-to-day conversation that naturally occurs with friends and family members, because we always take them for granted. But when it comes to an official, at least we are a little bit assured that we don't give any rooms for confusion, because we know that in the official, if I make something, I have to be acceptable. So I'm worried about the result, so I do it in a better way. But when it comes to the known circles, we take it for granted. So, if you could connect with it, then you understand how interpretation is very important. Why that creates a conflict. Most of the conflicts in communication comes because of the interpretations part. So you have to be rest assured that when you deliver a message, ensure that the other person receive it the way you wanted to receive it. That's more important. Okay. I hope you are getting my point and in line with my program. The next one is how expectation influences perceptions. That's one of the other fault why communication gets failure. I expect something for the person to interpret it. This happens in most of the, being a college student, you are aware, like if a girl or a boy talks to you, then we always interpret it. Okay, he has a liking for me. He or she has a liking for me. Right? So whatever the incident after that happens, we'll try to take it in the positive way. When a moment comes wherein you're supposed to interact with each other personally, then they'll say, no, I didn't say that because you did this. So I interpreted in this way because I liked it. And so I interpreted the way I want it, which gives me happiness. So expectation influences most of the things. I hope you're getting this point very clear because I said it in a very simple term. Most of the things get influenced by the expectations. In a relationship or with people, we always have expectations. So we influence the communication or perception with our expectations rather than seeing the reality of it. It's very important to see the reality than influencing it. How can influence is also plays a major role in communication, but that's a very big chapter. We can do it in some other time. But the false influence on your perception will always lead to a conflict. So when someone is trying to say something, try to ask it directly or interpret in the way it has to be. Always give a benefit of doubts when you are not very sure. When you are sure, you can do it. If you know a person, okay. And if you are not sure, give the benefit of doubts to the situation as well as the person and interpret it. So that would give you a different perceptions, right? So we are also in the mid of the things. The three key determinants of perception. Okay, the one is the situation, the other one is the target, the third one is the perceiver. You can use this three key points of the communications. In a simple term, you can say the situation is nothing but the place or the locations you are currently put up. That's the situations. The target is someone who you are going to communicate, the receiver of the message. The third one is the perceiver, how the receiver is going to interpret it. Okay, the target could be also your mode of communication. Okay, so it's very important when you talk with a person, analyze the situation, what kind of a message you are going to deliver, the proximity part. Most of the problem comes in communications, especially in texting. Because I'll see you. That's a simple message. The other person will wait for the next 1 hour or 2 hours. He said, you will see me. Have you started? Then the other person will wonder, where are we heading? He said, you said we'll see you. Then I was expecting you to come and meet me. So when are you going to come? Right? So this kind of the texting would always give a different meaning based on the perceiver. That is how you mean like, okay, we'll see. It could be any time. It could be later or soon or something because the communication is incomplete. The perceiver has perceived it, attitudes, interest. I would say here the interest. The person likes to meet you. So the person perceive it that you're going to come and meet him today. That is why you said you will meet. For this, I'll take the past experience. Okay, before he said, I'll come, so he has given me the surprise. He has come and meet you. So I expect it. So the past things also influence. The expectation also influence. The understanding of the message is also influencing. It looks very simple, right? But there are so many things into it. Now you will understand how perception plays a major role in communication. Right? So there are two eggs. We always know when we were doing our schools, in one of our maths tests, that's in 11th grade, the teacher used to put 0 and there is a 2 lines on either side. We used to make fun, like, see that mutte should not go other page, அடுத்த பேஜுக்கு வந்து அந்த முட்டை போயிடக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு மேடம் இங்க அங்கேயும் இங்கேயும் கோடு போட்டுருக்காங்க. So, how you interpret it. The saying eggs are here. For someone, it's kind of a eating. For someone, it's an angel. For someone, it's a devil. It's depend on the person who gets it. For me, I always think of my school days. Like, what I got as a 0 in my mathematics. In the 11th grade, in the first class test. And we always thought, okay, my past experience, like, teacher will give step mark. At its first class test and 11th is very tough. When you move from 10th to 11th, I always get it, we always get it. So that's why when I see this egg or something, my experience goes connects with my past. And if it's for vegetarian, they'll say like, okay, I can eat it. If it's kind of someone who is pure vegetarian or something, they don't like it. And for some people who are in artistic work, they see egg as a different thing. And people who are in natural agriculture, they see it's a manure or a fertilizer. The product is the same. It's just one single egg, the piece of egg. But it has a different meaning for the person whom he or she whom gets it. Agriculture, the meaning is different. For a person who eats, it's different. A person like me, it has a different meaning. So perception, you understand how a perception plays a major role. Okay. So commonly we have these errors. I connect this with the communication because I'm not highlighting on the word of communication, sending or receiving, because we have seen enough in that, and still it's a phase of learning it. So the key thing why the communication gets failure is because of the perception. It's what we have or see about the people or the situations. Okay, so when I'm talking about the perceptual errors, there are two things: halo effect and horn effect. Commonly we have this halo effect. Something is happening, you see, I could see a halo on your head, right? Which gives a positive sign. Horning effect is something when someone horns, it's kind of a warning. When you're on the road, if someone horns you, like, okay, we get irritated because we feel connect with the negative part. So either people want to rush or I'm not driving, that is a warning, like you move from the place where you are, So halo and horn effect. So halo effect is something when I, mostly connect with a person. When I like a person, I see everything as a positive. When I don't like a person, it's going to be negative. When I like the situation, it's nice. When I don't like it, it's going to be a negative. So our thoughts are get influenced by the likes and dislikes of a thing or a person or a situations. Okay. So that's one important thing. When we're talking about halo, it's positive, higher equity, trust, and better value for a person or a situations or a things. It's just the reverse for that. So I just, since we have few minutes of time, I'll just rush it up on these things. So when I'm talking about how the perception we make it, one is the physiological factors. Okay, that's what egg, I've seen it. Then the past experience and roles. Based on the experience I have with a particular situations. Second is the feelings and circumstances and culture. Every culture has a different thing. Within Tamil Nadu, we have a huge culture. We are rich in cultures and heritages. So every, like Coimbatore and Palakkad, it's slightly very different. It's slightly few minutes of travels, but still the culture has a vast difference. So every thought and every action is influenced by the culture. So errors in perception, one is the stereotyping. Stereotyping is nothing but something which is structured in our mind. Pre-judgmental is one thing. The impressions. Commonly they say like, Bellakare poi solamata. One sec, I'll just put it on chat. So as a student, the teachers will always say first impression makes it the best. And now the common saying, don't we get a second chance? Why the first has to make it the but the first has always have an impact. Everybody gets a second chance. There is no doubt about it. But will the first and the second is going to the same, the intensity is going to be the same, it's going to have a difference. Right? Be it a positive or negative, you will get a second chance, but the amount of time and the effort you have to put is going to be tremendous for it. So that's the first impression makes a very good bail. So, when I see a person, if I didn't find it very comfortable, then I say I'm not very comfortable with it. I don't make an effort to go on to the next step of, can I make an effort? Can I talk with him? No, I don't make that. So that's important. So that also makes the person might be good, but the situation is may not favoring him. The last one is just self-serving biased. We naturally get biased with the people or with the situations based on my experience. I like something, then I like, okay, so let's go for it. If I didn't like it, then I'll have a bias. I'll put 10 things like, okay, it is not going to work. It's not my cup of tea. I don't think we should have him or her for the programs. It's based on my opinions what I frame. It could be for any reasons. The reason could be unknown, but there is something which has happened already to me. That's the fact. Okay. The perception and communication is how it connects with each other. The central part is the way we perceive or the way we carry ourselves. It's very important how you dress yourself, how you talk about, the other person will, our respect, whatever we do, it's not about how people will give to us, how we see ourselves and how we perceive ourselves and how we behave and carry ourselves. Only that matters. So it's most important, but she didn't give respect or, they took me for, it's not about somewhere I made a fault that I didn't project myself in a better way. So what should I do for that? It's more important in perceptions, how you carry yourself. The second, what are the factors which affects is how we view and present ourselves, how we communicate with others, how the others communicate with us, and how we understand the events of others and ourselves. When we're talking about a perception, it matters of ourselves and the others. The communication has to go straight. It has to be understand like how the other person will perceive it. If I think that, then it's going to be very easy. The behavior is very important. Empathy and perception checking. Empathy is nothing but whenever I say something, how the other person is going to feel and react for it. Right? Be it a good one or a not favoring one. Checking is something, it's a very simple thing, you can have it. Description of behavior. Mostly when the people interpret on the behaviors. People try to connect behaviors and words are equal. When they see a disconnect, then there is a problem. So it's more important how the behavior is more important. Second thing is interpretations. Interpretations have the different aspects. You cannot interpret a behavior with a single note. There are a lot of things which we have to do with the interpretations. Subtle, the body will always give us subtle messages. You need to note that. Second is the voice and the intonations. Third one is the situations. Fourth one is the experiences. So there are a lot many things to do an interpretation. You cannot make an interpretation at one go. So at times it works, at times it doesn't work. So interpretation has to be very careful. Then the most important, best part to have an interpretation is clarification. If you have a doubt, if you are very unclear, please ask the person openly. Because I have most of the time the communication has a lot of issues because the person is not opening up. They are not clarifying it. They do understand in their own way and interpret it and take it. They don't take that one single step to clarify it. They feel most of the time, they feel getting clarified about certain things is very painful than being with, then I prefer to live with that particular incident or with the misunderstandings. I would always suggest that rather than living with a misunderstanding or misinterpreting the messages, please ask the person and clarify it. This is what you intend to say. This is what I got as a message. Is this right? So the clarification will clear out all your perceptions and miscommunications. I think we are more or less in the end of the PPTs. I think we have some 2 or 3 more to go. Perception influence on communication. There is a simple 5 steps how your communication can be influenced by the perceptions you have. First is the thing is who. Who said this? The communicator. If it comes from the teacher, yes, fine, I would listen to it. If it comes from the student leader, no. Who are you to say it? Then I would always go with it. So don't take me wrong, because I'm giving this as a simple example so that you can connect with your real-time incidents. Because when we learn something, when we connect with the real-time things, it stays in our mind very easily without any effort. So since being a student, the learning, you are in the learning phase. So I take I think this is the right example for you to take the informations very easily and have it for your future applications. So who said it? That makes a difference. Okay. And then says what kind of a message he or she has been given. So whenever you get a message, the first question we'll ask, think with your life, think with your incidents. The third one is which channel. If someone calls me, say like, I spoke to my friend. With whether he called you or you called you, he or you called him or he called you, right? Whether it's a text message or whether it's a WhatsApp message or it's a social media, we try to get more deeper into the channels. The channel, now you understand why the channel plays a major role. To him, if it comes from another person to whom he communicated, whether you got this message directly from him or through someone, so the whom plays a major role because they do a lot of interpretation before it delivers. You all might be knowing about the Chinese whispering games. When you say something, the other person, the third person, when it comes to the last person, it gets a different meaning and a different message also. So it is also very important whom the message has come from whom. The final it is what is the effect it has on you or with the in situations or with the incidents. So that's more important. So why communication fails is because of the effect. Someone has said something, I didn't feel good about it. That's the effect. That's the consequences. Since I didn't feel good about the message or what I delivered, it's creating a trouble for me. I perceive it in a different way. I blame the person, or if it has a very good effect, I appreciate the person. If it has a negative effect, I blame the person, I'll criticize it. So that is what it plays a major role, how your perception plays a major role. Right? So we are in this last slide. So I just have something as a colorful for you. It's for you to interpret or perceive things. It could be, they could be learning, or they could be playing, or they would do a group studies, or it could be a home atmosphere, or it could be office atmosphere, or a library, whatever it is. So the single message is giving a different meaning for all of us. I have a different meaning, you have a different meaning, but the image is same. So whenever we communicate, the receiver is going to from different walks of life, from a different experience, from different culture, from different backgrounds. So it's very important, or it's the responsibility of the communicator to ensure that if I see this is a library setup, so I ensure that a small changes picture would say that below the clock I'll write it as a library and I'll put it. Okay, so whoever comes inside the room, they get the message, it's a library. If that one simple word has changed the whole perception, people from all experience and everything, but that single word has changed the perceptions, or it has given the single message for all the people. So that's more important when you communicate. We see like, okay, there are a lot of issues people can perceive anyways and anything. I'm not responsible. It's not like that. It's a responsibility of the communicator. A single change in a form or an appearance would communicate the same message to across thousands of people. So you should be, whenever you deliver a message or something, you perceive it from the other person's view also and communicate what you are intended to communicate is on the same page. Right? So the last point is your takeaway points. So you have to just, with these 3 points, I'll conclude these sessions. Your sensory data is nothing but perception plays with the 5 sensory organs. You can receive the message either through your ears, like audio or video, or by taste or by touch. So all the things are playing a major role in sensory data. All the 5 organs plays a major role. Knowledge stored in the brain, how we store the information in the brain, that is what helping us for the interpretations part. That interpretation is we are taking from our past experience. That's more important. So in the past, whether we are going with the experience and learning is very important. So that plays a major role in interpretations of the messages. final is inference about what is the outcomes. Inference is nothing but the outcome of that, right? So these are the three key points which you have to have it in your mind. Okay. So maybe whatever your takeaway, you can take it as a takeaway points for it. Okay. So perceptions in simple term, in a psychological term, which I would like to see how you perceive and how others perceive about your information. Okay. Hope that's what I wanted to share it with you. So it's a very vast topic. You can very dig deeper into it. Whatever I have given is just a glimpse. So whenever you get time, go online and do it in practically, and you'll have more information. Thank you so much for being with me and listening to this program. Thank you, madam, for the opportunities. And I think you can take over the session. Hello?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes, I can hear you now. Ma'am, are you there?
Now?
Yeah, now it's audible.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Your session was really interesting and informative, more informative for our students. Yeah, we are very thankful to you, ma'am. You are spending your valuable time with us. So really, the session is very useful. Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of our AJK College of Arts and Science and Department of Management Studies, we are hearty thanks to you, ma'am. Thank you, Onanda. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you. Have a good